And let me pause right there, because there are a lot of Vietnam vets in the room right now, and there are a lot of vets before Operation Iraqi Freedom. And I really, really appreciate you guys, because when we came back, we didn't have work for it. You guys had to go through everything from no label to what's wrong with you to shell shock to, oh, there's something wrong with everyone that's coming back, we need to give them help. So I really appreciate you guys for sticking in there, and it did pay off. I just wanted to say that part. But it got really bad, and no one knew. I had updated my life insurance, I had updated my will, I had timed the train tracks where Grand meets the 101. And there was a delay there where the barrier comes down, just enough of a delay to get your car across. So I was sitting in the Home Depot parking lot, and it was too much, because I was in a career field that if you went to mental health, you lost your job, because there were certain career fields that you couldn't seek help. And I started to pray. And I said, God, my mom told me that you only give us the cross that we can bear. And when it gets too hard, that you send help. My cross is too hard for me to bear. So either I need you to send help, or I'm tapping out. And then I went on to say, you created the entire world in 7 days. You can fix this in 7 days if you want to. If you don't fix this in 7 days, I'll fix it myself. Wasn't even done praying. It was the rudest prayer that someone could have. Back on it. Wasn't even finished praying, a Harold Branch called. And I ignored the call, because I was in the middle of telling God that I needed help. So I ignored the call, and those of you that know Harold Branch knows that he doesn't blow people's phones up. He called me right back. So I thought that he needed help, and I answered the phone. I was crying at this point. And it was Memorial Day weekend, September 2011. And he said, I want you to come over to my house and have a cookout. And I want you to meet some of my mentors that changed my life. To be honest with you, they probably saved it. So I came. And that's where I met Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And Mr. Smith was just so humble. He thanked me for my service. And he was like, yeah, I was in the military. And he just left it at that. And then Mrs. Smith comes up to me and she's like, my husband didn't tell you something I'm really proud of. My husband has a Bronze Star. Yeah. And to those of you who don't know what a Bronze Star is, Google it. See how many people in the military, from the history of the military, have a Bronze Star and the requirements to get it. So when she told me he had a Bronze Star, it didn't make sense to me, because he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, he was smiling, he was happy, he was laughing and joking. And I looked at him and I was like, that's not possible that he has a Bronze Star. It's not. So I Googled him. And I had to go through all of the Smiths, because his first name's not Larry, to find his picture. I was like, he does have a Bronze Star. And I wanted that. I wanted that happiness that he had, because I knew that he saw more than me if he had a Bronze Star. So finally, and I wasn't even in the leadership at this point in time, they just accepted me with open arms, with no ulterior motives. They were just loving. And so finally one day, Mr. Branch and I were sitting down, and he said, tell me what happened over there, because you're not the same person that I knew. And I told him every single thing. I told him all of the details, and I was crying, and he was pretty close to crying, and we composed ourselves, and he said 3 things. The very first thing he said is, you're in the States. I'll never let anything happen to you. You're safe now. The second thing he said is, you can be a victim or you can be victorious, but you can't be both, so I'm going to need you to pick one. last thing that he said is, let's go get it all back.